Good morning, good morning. It is a beautiful morning here. It is Wednesday, and I'm driving down the road, pulling the ultimate tool trailer and looking at all the wild edibles. And all the while, I'm thinking about a video that I watched last night. And man, some of the videos really do something to me. They don't anger me, but they make me want to speak out. And I watched one last night that really made me want to speak out. But before I say that, let me tell you how thankful I am that the Creator has allowed me to open my eyes this morning, allowed me another day for repentance and another day to try and get on the path of righteousness. Listen to me. Another day to try and make my wrongs right. Now that's called grace, friends, and that's called mercy. And He's given me 57 years of that, a whole lot. He's had grace and mercy on me. Anyway, so thankful. So thankful. Anyway, so I watched a video last night, and every now and then, now this is someone who I respect and still respect, just disagree with on some things, but I respect very much. Good man, as far as I can tell. You know, I only know this guy through YouTube. He does strive to live that homestead, self-sufficient lifestyle, blah, 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 and all that. But you'll have to excuse me. I just unloaded and unloaded stuff, pulling the ultimate tool trailer, been in and out of it. Hopped in the truck and took off. So I'm having sinus trouble. Of course, it's that time. I'm having sinus trouble, and I'm out of breath. Already sweating this morning at 80 degrees. It's not even 9 o'clock. And so anyway, headed to a plumbing job. Yesterday was the remodel. Today is a plumbing job. Tomorrow is a landscaping job, actually building a retaining wall, installing a drain behind the retaining wall, smoothing out stuff for sod, smoothing out dirt for sod and that sort of thing. But anyway, thankful for the work. And so I'm out of breath, so bear with me. Anyway, don't want to get off track because that's easy to do. So I'm listening to the guy. I'm laying in bed. I wait. I actually see his video during the day. And I think I was eating lunch at work and just kind of going through, seen it and thought, oh, I'm going to listen to him tonight and see what he has to say. So got my shower done, laying in bed, and that's when I'll listen to a couple of videos before I go to sleep. Just lay there and just listen to somebody talk. And what he's saying is very good. It's all just super good, except for when he starts to downplay the importance of wild edibles. Yeah, the downplaying the importance of wild edibles. And so I, of course, I hear it and I'm aggravated. It's 10:30, 11 o'clock. And I want to speak out. I want to say something in the comments, but I don't. But I'm going to say something this morning, because whenever I hear folks downplaying the importance of wild edibles and wild medicinals, it lets me know who and what they are and how they think. Now, that's not to say that they're bad, but it lets me know their lack of knowledge on the subject. Because when you know wild edibles, friends, when you know wild edibles and you know wild medicinals, here's what happens. When you open that door in the morning, or you're looking out your windshield when you're driving down the road, you literally, at all times, see a pantry. At all times, see a medicine cabinet. That's just how it is. And it gives you a great sense of security and comfort. And it gives you a sense of not arrogance, but confidence. It gives you a sense of confidence. And that is hard to explain to someone who does not know their wild edibles. I'm talking about really know them, really know their wild edibles, and knowing your wild medicinals. And so, although it is not the most important thing to know, But it is one of the most important things to know, especially for a true blue survivalist. Man, woman, young, old, doesn't matter. A true survivalist and a true homesteader at heart should know their wild edibles and wild medicinals and know how to hunt, fish, and trap. Now, this person, there's a deer. Oh boy. Oh, little baby deer. See if you can see it in the window. No. Okay, so anyway, this person was talking about the importance of knowing how to grow food, raise food, and preserve food, and all that. And that is very, very important, because if you had to survive off of wild edibles, wild medicinals, and hunting, fishing, and trapping, especially in a stuff at the fan situation, but all of the time, you would be somewhat hungry all of the time. Would you live? Absolutely. You would have to get used to being hungry, though. You would be very thin. So maybe I should do that. But we would be very thin, and but we would live. We would live. And those and I understand in a shift, stuff at the fan situation, that the wildlife would be depleted. The birds being last, but the fish and the deer and the stuff like that would be just decimated. And so you would have to pretty much, other than catching a bird every now and then, you would have to pretty much survive off of wild edibles. Now, so as I listened to this man talk, and just the downplaying, and actually kind of making fun just a little bit. He only said a couple of things, but it had the making fun of twist to it, the downplaying of it. And friends, let me tell you, it is only, when you hear folks talk like that, it is only because of their ignorance, their 100% pure ignorance of wild edibles, because they don't know wild edibles. They don't know that there's a pantry out here. The creators, listen to me, the creators' pantry out here. Now, is it ideal to have to live off of wild edibles? Why? Of course not. Of course not. We should be planting and farming and gardening and that sort of thing. That's where the bulk of our food, that's where our food should come from, is garden and raising animals and that sort of thing. But what's wrong with knowing your wild edibles and medicinals? What is wrong with that? What is wrong with learning that and knowing that and having an addition, listen to me, an addition to the dinner table? Yeah, maybe some crops didn't come in. Well, we've got an addition straight from the Creator, an addition to the dinner table, straight from the Creator. And so what is wrong with having an addition to the medicine cabinet? Oh yeah, an addition to the medicine cabinet. What in the world could be wrong with that? Nothing. So let me ask you this. You living in the city, or you're living out in the middle of nowhere? You're homesteading out in the middle of nowhere. Or you're all prepped out, got 3 years supply of food in the city, in your basement. Or you're homesteading out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, thriving, eating good, eating very well, doing good. And it's shift. Stuff has hit the fan, friends. Stuff has hit the fan. And hordes of people. Think about The Walking Dead and how those hordes of those zombies come walking through. Hordes of people, gangs of people, not meaning to be mean, but needing to live. Have to take your food because you're not willing to give it up, so they take it from you. And there's a lot of folks, and they take it all, friends. They just wipe you out because there's so many people. They eat all of your food. They rape your gardens, your fruit trees, decimate. You're in the city. They find out you have food, and so hundreds of people come and they enjoy your stuff at the fan food, They enjoy your long-term massive amount of food storage. They kick back and enjoy it. Maybe they have to shoot you to get you out of the way. Who knows? Maybe they are not mean whatsoever, but they need to live and you're not willing to share, so they take. So what if that happens? What if this stuff happens? Then what do you have? You think you're going to grow another garden before you die of hunger? You think there's going to be deer out there to shoot? You think there's going to be fish? Or you're just going to go down to the lake and catch fish and live off of that? Is that what you think? No, friends, you've got to know your wild edibles. That is so important. Don't let these people downplay the importance of wild edibles. They are so very important. They are more important than knowing how to grow your food. Yes, more important than that. You should learn your wild edibles, all the while learning how to grow food. Learning how to grow food. But friends, this man, he's making fun of folks who talk about living off of acorns and dandelions. And I don't even understand that. Is that ideal? No, it's called survival. It is called survival, and it's called an addition to the dinner table. I want you to think about the indigenous folks around the planet. I want you to think about the folks like the Native Americans who lived off of acorns and dandelion roots and buffalo meat. I want you to think about those folks, how they not only survived, but thrived. And so, and you have to remember that 99.9% of the world's population, they don't know. Listen to me. 99.9%, including some of these homesteaders on YouTube, 99.9% of the world's population do not know wild edibles. And so the wild edibles will not be decimated, and the wild edibles grow back. You kill an animal, it's gone. Well, you take some leaves off of a lamb's quarter plant, it grows back. So I want you to think about that. It is important to know your wild edibles, and it gives you a great sense of security. It is, listen to me, what are you going to do when you're traveling in shift and stuff hits the fan? Stuff has hit the fan, friends. What are you going to do? You going to put 100 pounds of rice on your back? Is that what you're going to do? You have to travel, and you're going to put 100 pounds of food on your back? Are you going to pull it in a wagon? Not this guy. Not this guy. This guy is just going to put his backpack on and take off. We'll eat on the way. There's a drive-through every 10 feet for me. Is it ideal? No. Is it ideal? No. Am I going to be able to live? Absolutely. So don't listen to the ignorance of some of these people. It upsets me when they start downplaying the importance of wild edibles and wild medicinals. That is pure ignorance and silliness. It is only because they don't know. Friends, I can go down the road and just look at the massive amount of food. Up at the retreat property, I find new wild edibles almost every time I go up there. Blueberries. And everything comes in its season. It's the Creator's pantry. Everything comes in its season, and it's a great addition to the dinner table. Right now, if I was up there, I could be gathering and preserving blueberries and blackberries. Yeah, blueberries and blackberries. A couple of weeks ago, it was mulberries. Well, about a month ago, I believe. It was mulberries, and there are loads of them. Okay, and so once the blackberries and blueberries phase out, guess what's coming? Autumn olive. Autumn olive will be poking its head up. They'll be ripe. Another couple of weeks, and they'll be ready to roll. And it goes on and on like that. The same with the wild medicinals. They have their season. They just keep on going. And in the wintertime, friends, it's kudzu roots and dandelion roots and more of your roots. And it just goes on, and tree barks. And listen to me. This is folks survived famine because of wild edibles. If folks hadn't had wild edibles and hadn't had the knowledge of wild edibles, so many more would have died in famine. But they knew their wild edibles. That's why so many things are called famine food out here. Famine food. Because they don't taste that great, but they'll keep you alive. And they have kept folks alive throughout the thousands of years. Tried and tested. It's already been tried and tested. And so I don't understand some of these people, survivalists. They call themselves survivalists and homesteaders, but yet they downplay the importance of wild edibles when they are so vitally important. It drives me nuts. I want to debate them. I want to do a open debate, public debate about the importance of wild edibles and wild medicinals. They are so important. And if you have children, and you have grandchildren, I want to urge you and encourage you to learn some wild edibles. You may not have time to learn all of the wild edibles in your area, but learn some of them. That is so important, so important. And I told this little story a couple of times where I had a big YouTube channel argue with me, comment, and tell me how I had it wrong on the wild edibles, how you couldn't live off of them. and folks, I'm not saying that not to farm, not to garden, not to raise animals. You have to do that. You have to do that, but all the while you have to know those wild edibles just in case there's a drought, there's a flood, hordes of folks come through. They're great additions to the dinner table, and they are famine and survival food. Hello, you think you're going to have a book? You think you're going to have a book when stuff hits the fan, whatever the case may be? You think you're going to carry a book around with you? You think you're going to have the internet and Google images? Huh? What does a kudzu look like? Images? No, you're not going to have any of that. It's got to be up here in this Google right here, this internet right here. That's where it has to be. You've got to put it there. You've got to get it there. Very, very important. Very, very important. And so I challenge any of you YouTubers out. Let me finish what I was saying. So this big YouTube channel is arguing with me. We're messaging back and forth. They're arguing with me. And I finally said, look, you don't know what you're talking about because you don't know wild edibles. And I hated to be mean, but it was just the truth. They didn't know, and they shut right up because they knew that they didn't know wild edibles. So what are they talking about? They don't have a clue of what they're talking about anyway. So learn those wild edibles, friends. It takes time. But it gives you such a great sense of security, along with having a retreat property, a place to retreat to, and then knowing your wild edibles and medicinals. I'm talking about really knowing them and really having a good, safe place to retreat to. That gives you an amazing sense of security, which is so important, especially when we're in this unjust, unrighteous, man-made, carnal system that was made by man for man, for man's pleasures. Especially when we live in this system, it is nice to know that we're set up up here, knowing our wild edibles, our wild medicinals, and we have a place to retreat to. That gives you a sense of comfort, a sense of security, and a sense of confidence. Not arrogance, but confidence. I heard this guy one time say that, and he is so arrogant, say that he was not arrogant, he was confident. And my, is he so arrogant? He is. He's getting the two confused there. And he may be confident and arrogant, but he's definitely arrogant. And he was one of those who was downplaying the importance of wild edibles and medicinals. They're so important. I haven't talked about them in a while, and I'm going to talk about them for a couple of videos. They're so very, very important. I drive down the road and see the food and see the medicines. Friends, It's everywhere. It is absolutely, positively everywhere. And it's so important that we learn them. Just so important. Anyway, I got a huge fan on a roof over here. They're working on that building. See that building right there? There's a fan up there, a big fan. Anyway, so I hope everybody's doing good. Learn those wild edibles. Get out there right now. We're in midsummer, and see what's popping up. See how things look during midsummer. Google, books, YouTube. Do it. YouTube is one of the best teachers. Google is one of the best teachers. I'm so sorry. I had a guy one time, he didn't know how to do something, and I said, hey, did you, and he did it. He ended up doing what he didn't know how to do. I said, did you YouTube it? And he said, oh, I ain't ever YouTubed anything. And I'm like, okay, right. That's what everybody says. But I totally admit that YouTube is, and Google are the best teachers that there is right now, by far. They're wonderful teachers. I'm so sorry, but they are. You've got to learn from something or someone, and so YouTube is an excellent teacher. You've got to learn. I mean, you ain't born with the knowledge. You're not born with the knowledge. You have to learn it from someone or something. Anyway, friends, there is a pantry out there. It's called the Creator's Pantry. And it is full. It is full. It is full. If we ate just off of that pantry, we probably wouldn't have any disease whatsoever. Would we be hungry? Yeah, we would be. But we probably wouldn't have any disease. Yeah. Anyway, friends. All right, I've got to get plumbing supplies this morning. Plumbing supplies. We've got a plumbing job, and we got to get it done so I can go see the grandkids. We'll see you.